Hi everybody, Rob Cootie here, and today is Friday, Freelance Friday, episode number 53. Can you believe that? Number 53. That's hard to believe. That means I've been doing these things for over a year. These Freelance Fridays, and as I said, they're some of our most popular viewed videos and listened podcasts. So it's pretty amazing. All right. With that being said. We will be going live, as always, at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Please utilize hashtag the MLM Solution, hashtag the MLM Solution to find us on those platforms and other social media platforms. And please use that hashtag to share our platforms and our podcast with our fellow network marketers across the globe. They too have a right to this same empowering information so they can utilize this great business model to do amazing things for themselves and their families. You can be a part of that positive process by simply taking a few seconds and utilizing and sharing hashtag the MLM Solution or hitting the share button on our website or our Facebook page, wherever. All right, that being said, today is episode number 53 of Freelance Friday. We shall see you in a moment. We talk all things network marketing, good, bad, and yes, even the ugly. All right, we'll see you in a moment.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie.
Hello, Miss Marie. How are you today?
Happy Friday. I am fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine, in case all of you that are viewing the podcast versus listening, you'll notice there's a different background, different view. And Miss Marie, that's because my iMac took a nosedive.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
Yesterday and today has been a challenge, and I will get back to that. As a matter of fact, I'm setting up a new studio downstairs, and we'll make a lot of changes there. I may pull out, I have one of those big old metal monsters, Mac Pro, they call them. You know, that big, heavy metal tower.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been refurbing that. And I debated on whether to keep it or not. And when I decided to put it up for sale, I got an overwhelming response. And I said, oh, I have a hold of something very special. And so I told people, I said, no, I decided to keep it. And they said, well, good choice. And so I knew that they were special because for all of you that don't know, I did some work for Geek Squad, and we did work on all kinds of computers from across the world. And it's amazing what you see come through there, Miss Marie, and what you experience. That's a story for another day. But the Mac Pros rarely came through. And when they did, I was so impressed with them, I went out and bought one. I should have bought 2 or 3. But I love those older models. I love big, hefty things, as you know. And I knew what I had a hold of because they don't make them anymore. Matter of fact, they do. Did you know this past year they came out? There was such a demand for that style because their Mac Pros eventually went to a cylinder, which they're phenomenal machines. The cylinder is only like 12 inches, 13 inches tall, and maybe 6 inches around. That's their computer, their ultimate top of the line computer. Phenomenal machines. But the demand for the older metal tower, which was ingenious in its design. I don't know if you've ever been around them, if you've ever taken them apart. Whoever designed that was a flippin' genius. Every once in a while, you have a product that everything about it is just like, wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. That can't be taught. Well, that was the metal ones, the old ones. And so they came out with them this past year. You know, a newer, updated version, but they're all metal. They're incredible. And but they're expensive. I'll spend.
As are all things Apple.
Yes. Yes. And I will tell you that of all the computers we worked on at the Geek Squad, we had a saying, apples don't break, people break apples. And it's so true, Miss Marie. You know, they're mechanical things, electromechanical. They're made by humans. They're going to break.
Mm-hmm.
But the vast majority of them do not break. And if they do have an issue, it's typically because human beings have abused them. And once again, I can tell you stories that will blow your mind. I'll tell you some other time. But the thing is, we rarely got apples in, and we rarely got Mac Pros in. People just don't give those up. They're so robust. And yes, you're going to pay money up front, but I'm going to tell you, that's the reason why I have nothing but apples. And, you know, I grew up on it as a PC guy. You know, you and I have been around long enough. We remember the world without computers, right? I still remember using manual typewriters.
Yep.
In triplicate, no less. And whiteout. What was your best friend? So the thing is that you have a situation where when you get exposed to that quality of product, you don't mind paying the price for it. And I have bought new apples and I have bought used apples. And you know what? They all work great. So I'm you know me, I'm a penny pincher. I'm frugal. I will buy used apples all day long. So there you go.
Yep, I hear you for sure.
Yeah. How's your computer situation, by the way?
So far so good. I got my battery replaced, so that seems to have done the trick. And as long as I was at it and they were inside the machine, I had them put in a larger hard drive as well, because I was finding myself running out of space. Surprise, surprise.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, fingers crossed, we're in good shape and won't have any issues for a couple of years here.
Yeah. Well, I know I told you before, and I don't, but all of my apples, I have apples that are from 12 years old to 5 years old. So that's my arsenal of computers that work right now. And that's a testament, once again. You know what's happening, Miss Marie? It's believe it or not, the browsers get outdated, and you can't update the browsers because the browsers don't support the processor and all that anymore. And when you go to try to get a new browser, it'll say we no longer support, you know, this device because of.
Yep.
And so then you end up with an antiquated computer that you're going to have to upgrade if you're going to use it, right? And so I am running into that. And I've checked on buying versus updating, and I think I will update. And until I can't update anymore. So there you go, right?
Yep. That's the way to do it. If you can do it on the cheap and make it last as long as possible, that's definitely the way to go.
Well, that's me. You know, I get a bigger kick out of finding deals than I do buying new. Anybody can walk out and pay the exorbitant price of something new. It's like when I buy cars. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who lives in Phoenix. You know, we were talking about cars, you know, and he's a car nut too. And he's a former investor out of New York City and moved to Phoenix and loves it out there. And of course, I used to live in Phoenix, and we're both music nuts and audio equipment nuts, and that's how we met. And we were talking the other day, and he's been updating his Porsche. Well, my brother's had nothing but Porsche. Well, I won't say nothing but Porsches. My brother, like me, is a car nut, but my brother really likes Porsches, and I have a love-hate relationship with Porsches. And but I got to admit, when my brother and I ride together, when he rides, now riding with my brother is like getting on a freaking broken roller coaster with a blindfold on. Okay, you don't know where the next thrill is going to come from, but you know you're getting into a bad situation because the roller coaster's broke and they're still using it. Well, that's my brother. Riding with him is a journey, to say the least. And you might as well wear a blindfold because you don't want to see what's going on. And I remember being really impressed with the Porsches. I mean, he would drive those things to the limit. It's amazing we have survived some of the rides. But he's totally rebuilt a number of cars. What he would do is he'd go out and find like a 1968 Super Bee or a 1969 Cuda or or Olds 442, which he still has, and he totally rebuilds them from the ground up. And they'll turn around and sell them for $40,000, $50,000, you know. Now he's not doing that anymore. And I have no idea how many cars he has. I mean, he's got them in storage units. So, and when he dies, if I outlive him, there's no telling what we'll find in these storage units, you know. And hopefully we find them all. I need to talk to him. I talked to him the other day, and I need to talk to him and say, hey, you're going to have to leave a description of where these things are. So anyway, the guy out of Phoenix, him and I were talking, and we were talking about Bentleys. And he goes, Rob, those things are a dime a dozen out here. He said, you see them everywhere. He said, why would you waste your time with a Bentley? And he said, they don't draw any attention. I said, Tony, I don't care if people notice it. That's not the point. I was coming back from taking the wife over to the grandkids this morning, and the guy who lives right down the street from us was driving his Bentley, Silver Spur, 4-door version, this morning. I was thinking, you know, maybe not, right? In other words, it's just a car. I love them. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, But it's not just Tony said that. You know, look, Miss Marie, do you not have a dream car?
I don't know that I have a dream car. I used to be much more car centric, and then a few years ago, it just like became a mode of transportation.
Yeah.
So I've gotten more into the realm of how long can I drive a car until it falls apart or it's the last minute I could possibly sell it.
But you have a great appreciation for cars. I know that.
Yep.
And you had at one time, I guess, your dream car or the car that you would like to have, right?
I did, yeah.
Okay, so you get it. But the reason you wanted that car and it was your favorite is because it's what you wanted. You didn't want it because, oh man, everybody will think I'm so cool because I'm driving this car. That wasn't your motivation, correct?
Correct.
Well, that's the same here. And I told Tony, I said, man, I'm offended by that, dude. I don't give a crap what other people say. And, you know, he doesn't know me as well as, you know, obviously other people do. I've never been the type to try and impress people. You know, Miss Marie, if you wave your money around, if you wave your cars around in your home, what kind of people does that attract? The wrong type of people.
Yeah, I was gonna say not the type of people you really want to be hanging around.
No.
My opinion.
No. You invite trouble into your life. Why can't you be humble and just go out and enjoy what you have and keep your mouth shut? You know, I don't care whether people know where I live. I don't give a crap what people think about where I live or what kind of cars I drive. Who gives a hoot? You know, you do it for the fun of it, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't go to Vegas just because I can brag about going to Vegas. I go to Vegas because it's a blast. It's flat out fun.
I go to Vegas because it's the polar opposite of Salt Lake City. and it's only 6 hours away.
I know it is, big time. The complete polar opposite. Yeah, what a great time, though. You know, as a Christian, you're thinking, you know, man, that's a fun place. You know, you can have fun in the midst of, how would you say, chaos. If you're focused on the right type of fun, right?
I was going to say, it depends on what you're into. It's not just all the evil in the world. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, you have to admit, if you've been to Las Vegas in the last couple of years, they've done a lot, especially along the Strip, to try to make it a more family-friendly place to visit. So,
well, that's a smart move on their part. It really is.
Oh.
At one time, I would never think about taking my family there. I might this time, but I appreciate their efforts. But I've had nothing but good experiences there and good times. I have nothing bad to say about it. And I know my granddaughter, she was going there just recently until some things came up, and she was talking to me about what else to do. And she wanted to go to the Grand Canyon, Hoover Dam, Painted Desert, and the Petrified Forest. Now, the Grand Canyon, Petrified Forest, and the Painted Desert are all essentially in the same area. I don't know if you knew that.
Okay.
So I told her, I said, you know, while you're out there, you know, take a week, go out to Vegas, have fun for 2-3 days, and then go out to Hoover Dam and Grand Canyon while you're there. You know, it's a once in a lifetime thing.
Yep. It is an interesting area to visit, and it's amazing how accessible some things are from Las Vegas. I mean, you have to admit, Las Vegas is probably one of the cheapest places you can fly into, and then to get to places like Hoover Dam, the Petrified Forest, and even the national parks of southern Utah, very accessible.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, it's funny how when you go there, you're so overwhelmed, your senses get bombarded in every direction. And if you're not careful, that's like I told my granddaughter, I said, look, you're going to be overwhelmed because it's a phenomenal place. Lights, noise, activity, you know, you're just, wow, this is so cool, you know. I said, but stay focused on where you are, when you're out there. Because at night, you don't know if it's 9 p.m. at night or 3 in the morning. You get caught up in the lights and you're so excited, you're on adrenaline, and you don't even know unless you look at your watch or your phone and realize, oh my gosh, it's 3 a.m. And I don't know about you. I mean, I would get a little bit tired, but I was so busy going from one place to the other that you don't realize how late it is, you know?
Oh, nighttime in Vegas is the best. I totally flip my schedule. We'll be up and out all night long, and we'll sleep all day because, quite honestly, Las Vegas, during the day, it's just kind of meh.
Yeah.
At night with the lights and everything, it's fantastic. So,
yes,
yeah.
It's all about the nighttime, no doubt about it.
Yep.
But you got to be careful where you are at night. That's for sure. Because, like I told her, I said, all the criminals know the tourists inside and out. They know their habits. They know where to hide. I said, you've got to be careful. Just make sure you stay with a lot of people. Stay away from the alleyways. Do not go down the alleyways. Do not go around any dark corners. You know, just stay out of the main strip. Don't be stupid. And don't try to go off to some, you know, because you can get off the strip, Miss Marie, and there's other places, quote unquote, that you can gamble.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a smart place to go. You know, stay on the main strip. Okay. It's tough enough to be safe there as it is, but if you stay on the main strip, you help your chances of remaining safe and having a good time dramatically.
Well, maybe, but I will tell you, I've had more success gambling off the strip than I have on.
Oh, no doubt.
The station,
Yes.
The station casinos in particular. Those are my favorites.
Absolutely. Yes. And don't tell my granddaughter that. I'm telling her to stay on the strip for a reason, Miss Marie. And so, but you know, there's so many good times. The wife, I don't think the wife's ever been. I was actually going to take her to Vegas, and then from Vegas we were going to go to Hawaii, and then the virus hit. So I haven't brought that up, you know, because I didn't want to rub it in her face. Oh, we were going to do this, but you know, I don't think that would go over too well.
Well, you let me know when you're going to be in Vegas. I'll meet you there.
Hey, that'd be awesome. That would be awesome. Yes, it would. Well, you know, I'd really like to, when we go to our next level, you and I are going to seriously talk about the Inside Network Marketing Project. And when that happens, I'll be coming out to Utah, obviously, because everything's centralized. And you and I will hire a professional or whatever. Well, you don't have to pay for it, but the thing is, you and I will hire a professional to contact them, or maybe I will, or I know Paul has a lot of connections, and maybe Paul will do it. Who knows? And set up these visits. And you can help me find a film crew there that's reasonable that we could hire, and we'll make some things happen.
Okay.
So I'll be coming out your way.
That's going to be exciting.
Yeah, that will be fun. Yeah. We'll be out there for about a week. I'll see if I can get Paul to come out there too. And we'll go from one company to the other. We'll probably have to do 2 or 3 in a day. We're only going to be there a week. Because that could get expensive. Not that, but my point is that keeping the film crew for a whole week is not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't afford to spend a whole day at one company. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
So, but also at the same time, we're going to contact a lot of professional network marketers and do interviews with them as well. And I don't know if we'll do those online or if we'll do them in person. If we can find some out there in Utah, which there are a lot, we could get some personal stories in there too. That would be really interesting,
Yeah.
So I look forward to that. What do you think?
Exciting stuff coming down the pike for our viewers and listeners. I'm excited. It's gonna be interesting.
It is going to be very interesting. That's for sure. And I'm looking so forward to it. Regardless of whether the virus is an issue or not, we're going to do it. And, we're just going to go out there and make it happen. The world can't stop because of the virus. So
no, well, I would say based on what I'm reading, I mean, the virus seems to be impacting other parts of the world much more. The vaccine rollout has been ramped up and very successful here in the U.S., and a lot of places are kind of getting back to normal. As a matter of fact, I think it was last week, maybe it was the week before now. I don't remember exactly, but Utah had passed some legislation with markers of what caseload and death rate and all that kind of stuff would be to mark the end of the pandemic in Utah, and we hit that. So in theory, it's officially over here. I've been over it for a long time, but that's
me too. I was talking to a couple people. I ran into one this morning, and I call him Ammo Guy because him and I have been buying ammo left and right. And he's the impetus behind it. And we go to the shooting range. And I haven't shot a gun at that time when we started going since 97, well, before 97. So that tells you how long it's been. So we go to the shooting range, and I told him, I said, man, I don't know how good I'm going to do when we first, because he invited me. And I said, well, I'll go. I love doing it. I said, but I don't want to embarrass myself. I just want to let you know up front that I don't know how I'm going to do here. And I told him, I said, how long it been? He said, oh, not a problem, man. We're just here for fun. So he comes first, and I go in behind him, and I lay out a pattern, and his eyes got wide and his mouth dry. He said, I thought you said you haven't shot a gun. I said, dude, I haven't. He goes, well, how in the hell can you shoot like that? I said, well, if you had the training I did when I was in the military, it doesn't leave you.
It's called muscle memory.
It's called a lot of memory, not just muscle. But you automatically go into the stance. You automatically go into the arm position. Everything automatically comes back to you. And you're just like, bam, 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 I was surprised. I'll be honest with you.
Like riding a bike.
Yeah, like riding the bike is right. But I did surprise myself, And I only tell you that story because of the fact I did surprise myself. I did not expect that. I truly thought I was going to be so horrible, like get one shot on the target, And I continued that consistency. I mean, I wavered a little bit, because my wrist isn't as strong, because I haven't been able to work out because of the injury, blah, 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 And when you have that much recoil, it's all about, and most people don't realize, not only is it the grip, but you got to have a strong wrist as that recoil so you can recover very quickly and accurately, And using both hands helps, but at the same time, the hand position and the recoil has a lot to do with your accuracy as well. And relaxing, which is kind of crazy. Most people, you got to relax when you pull that trigger, and you got to relax during the recoil. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So, but shooting a target is totally different than shooting a human being who's coming after you.
True.
Just to let you know. So practice doesn't always make perfect in the real world in those scenarios.
No, it doesn't.
So it's fun when you're shooting a non-living target. But with that being said, he had his second shot, his second vaccine. He asked me, he said, "Are you getting the vaccine?" I said, "Oh, no, I'm not getting no vaccine." And he was really surprised. Well, why not? I said, "Dude, come on, it's the government." And they rushed that through. And I said, "Do you realize you still have to wear a mask? You still have a chance of getting the virus." And like I said, "So tell me, what was the benefit?" "Well, it makes other people feel comfortable." I'm not doing it to make other people feel comfortable. I could care less what other people feel like. So he goes and gets a second shot. And he was talking to the wife this morning. He said, "Man, that about killed me." He said, "That second shot about killed me." He said, "It took me a week." He said, "I had no energy." He said, "I couldn't do anything. I had no focus." He said, "I was so just, I can say, like a worn out, trampled on doll that I could barely function for a week." He said, then they said, "Oh, we're not going to laminate your card because we may have to do a booster." And he told him, he said, "Hell no, you're not giving me a booster. I've gotten 2 shots." Now, when did the booster come up, Miss Marie? Who in the world came up with a freaking booster?
Well,
when did the shot stop?
they don't. COVID is nothing more than another variation on the flu virus, and they come
Yes.
out with a new flu vaccine every year that you're supposed to get, right? So
Yes.
why would this be any different?
It's not. You're right. But when did they come up to a booster? Did you ever hear of that?
Oh, they were talking about that way early on, sure,
Oh, wow.
because of all the variations. I mean, you think about it, the vaccines that they put in process when COVID first started, how many variants have they identified now?
Oh, gosh.
The vaccines that are out now don't cover all those variants. And they never will. It's like the flu. You can go get the flu shot and you'll still get the flu.
I know. And I have. The wife and I fight over that all the time. But, when I got out of the military, in the military it was mandatory. You didn't have a choice. And I get it. And here's why, not make an excuse. There were certain countries we went into, they said, "Look, here's what's in this country. If you get that, you're in deep trouble. This could be ugly." And you're like, "Oh, okay, I get that." And they would tell us in certain countries, "Don't drink the water, don't do that. We'll provide, the water. Don't eat this, blah, blah, blah." And you would talk to guys that had been there before, and they're like, "Dude, just listen to them. Don't take the chance," So there were certain countries we had to get vaccinated before we would go into them. And I got kind of used to that. But at the same time, there were other things that you had that were mandatory. You didn't have a choice. And you had a shot record, and you had to keep that shot record up. I still have that to this day. Anyway, after I got out of the military, I quit taking shots, and I never got the flu shot for the reasons that you're talking about. I don't want to be antisocial. I don't want to be anti-compliant. This is not my way of rebelling. It's my way of protecting my body. Okay. If I was susceptible to the flu, Miss Marie, if I had a real compromised immune system, I would probably get the flu shot every year. That's common sense, in my opinion. That's just me. But if I'm healthy and I've never really had an issue with the flu, maybe I get it once every 5 years or something. Well, guess what? I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to get the shot every year. And I've gotten the shot a couple times, and I've gotten the flu from the freaking shot. And the wife has been with me, and she's like, "No, that's full of crap. Yeah, blah, 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 And I was like, no, hell no. Now, I'll be honest with you, Ms. Marie, there's a couple times when I didn't get the shot that I've got the flu. I remember one time I was so sick. Well, it's been more. It's been 3 times. But one time in particular, I was so sick that I didn't get out of my pajamas or bed for 3 days. And that takes a lot to put me down for 3 days. Oh, my gosh. I finally was able to get up. Had my pajamas that I had on for 3 days. The wife drove me to a clinic in the Kroger grocery store. And I had to hold on to her shoulders, and I shuffled my feet. And people were looking at me, and I hadn't bathed in 3 days. I looked like death warmed over. And I went in there, and it took everything I had to get up on the table. And the girl, I told her, I said, oh, blah, 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 blah. I could barely talk. And she goes, well, you got the flu. I said, no, I got something worse than the flu. And she listened to me and goes, honey, you got the flu. I said, no, the flu never hurts me this bad. She said, no, let me clarify. You had colds before. You got the flu. And Mary, I had no idea that the flu could be that bad. I had the swine flu one time, and then I had that Zumba flu that was out about, 8 years ago or something like that. I forget what that was called, but it was something like Zumba or do you remember that? I'm throwing out a silly name, but I can't remember. The wife knows it. I had those two. Man, they kicked my butt. They kicked my butt. And that's when I started saying, you know what? Because my family members were getting older. And I realized when I went through that, I thought, well, I survived that. But my gosh, if I was to expose them to that, I would feel terrible. And we were around a lot of elderly people. So I took it more for them. And this is not me backpedaling. I took it more for them. I told the wife, I said, well, I get it. We're going to be around these people. And you know what? You're right. I do not. I would feel horrible. I don't even want there to be any speculation that they got it from me. Have you been in that situation?
Well, I don't know that it prevents you. I don't know that it does anything for helping other people. Here's what helps other people. When you're sick, stay home. Stay the hell away from other people.
Yeah.
Because that's when you're contagious.
Yeah.
Don't go to work. Don't go shopping. Stay home.
There you go.
That's how you don't contaminate other people.
Right.
If you're feeling fine, you're not contagious. You're not running around passing germs to a bunch of people. This asymptomatic nonsense.
Yeah. I know it.
Yeah.
And that's not what I'm saying why I took the shot. I took the shot, quote unquote, to keep from getting the flu. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I didn't take the shot to protect them. I was protecting them by hopefully me not getting it. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying even if you got the flu, when you get sick, stay away from them. They won't get it.
Which I did. But I don't know enough about medicine, and I don't know enough about the viruses to know, like if I didn't have symptoms today and I got around Miss Marie and I have the flu in me and it's germinating, and tomorrow, Saturday, I would be in bed sick. I don't know if when I was around Marie on Friday that I exposed her to that, because I didn't feel bad at that moment. So I don't know how that works. And that's what my mindset was in the prevention mode.
Yeah.
But I've only done that three times, I think. She still gives me hell every year about getting the flu shot. I said, no, quit asking me, quit harping on me. The more you harp on me, the less I'm going to do it. Now I got a point to prove. No, I'm not going to do it.
So now she'll do the reverse psychology thing on you. Don't you dare get that flu shot.
I'm going to do it. Exactly. But yeah, did I tell you my doctor had a fit because I haven't gotten the vaccine? Did I tell you that?
No.
Yeah, he did. Boy, he got mad. But you're a young man. You're so healthy. You could die. He said, you're not worried about dying? And I said, no, I'm really not. And he just couldn't fathom it. He really did. He just was dumb. I can't believe you're not afraid of dying. I said, no. I said, look, let's move on. He was mad. Our conversation went from this to this real quick. But I ain't getting no shot just because a doctor's trying to shame me into doing it. It's like, no, dude, go away. And it's not my way of being manly or being a rebel. No, hell no.
Well, and what drives me nuts is, a large portion of the population has been vaccinated now, right? But they still want to enforce mask stuff. Like the mask mandates here in Utah were lifted last month. And like I said, we hit the markers just a week or so ago saying supposedly the pandemic's over. So there's not a mask mandate anymore, but there are still certain businesses that have the signs up, oh, masks required or whatever. Well, I don't wear a mask anywhere I go because I don't see the point anymore. And most places, they're not saying anything. They may ask, oh, do you need a mask when I walk in the door? It's like, no, thank you, don't. But I walked into, I was shopping at JCPenney the other day with a friend of mine, and JCPenney's going to go out of business pretty soon, I would have to think, because they're going the way of Sears, right? The parking lot's pretty empty. There's nobody in the store. I mean, of course, they have the mask required signs up, and social distancing's not a problem because there ain't nobody in the store. And we're walking around, and this young 20-something, oh, you guys have to wear masks in the store. It's a requirement. Otherwise, you can't shop here. It's like, do you need a mask? It's like, no, thanks. We're fine. And we continued on our way. Well, damned if that girl didn't hunt us down on an opposite floor, opposite end of the building with a box of masks. Oh, you need to put a mask on. And it's like, no, I really don't. And my friend said something to her, which I didn't quite hear clearly, but I don't know what it was. But it was something to the effect that masks really aren't that effective anyhow. And with the vaccination, it's all done. And she's like, but people have died. And it's just like, oh my goodness, it must be really terrible living in such fear all the time.
Yes.
She goes, I'm going to call security. And she goes running off. And I'm like, please do. You know, what I really wanted to say was, why don't you go find your safe space and have a hot cocoa and wrap up in your warm blanket? I'm sure you'll feel better.
Exactly. Well, you know, it's funny. It's funny you bring that up because yesterday I was at Kroger and I was talking to my mom and my sister, especially my sister. They're still sucking their thumbs, you know. And I told my mom, I said, well, no, I don't wear a mask. Pretty much everywhere I go, I don't wear a mask. I said, every once in a blue moon I will. And she just didn't know what to say, you know. And like you, I go pretty much everywhere outside of the hospitals. When I go to the hospitals, I wear a mask. And so, because I don't know where it is, what it's like where you are, but they will not let you be seen. They will not take you to the doctor, you know, the gatekeepers, if you don't have a mask on. So it's like, oh. Anyway, I was at the grocery yesterday, and this young couple came out. Excuse me. And the husband goes, the wife was still wearing her mask out there in the parking lot. The husband didn't have a mask on at all. And she said something to him about the mask. I was right next to him, but I couldn't hear everything. And he goes, well, that sounds like a you problem, not a we problem. And I love that response. You know. But Ms. Marie, I've been going around too, and I've only had 2 instances lately where people have asked me to put a mask on. Every place else I've gone, I haven't had the mask on. And even the wife hasn't said anything, which really surprised me, because her and I go rounds over that mask thing, you know. And she said, well, I do it to make people feel safe and to please them. I said, I don't give a shit. I ain't doing it. You can please whoever you want. I ain't doing it. And she says, I'm the most stubborn man in the world. And I said, no, I'm not stubborn. You know what? I have my faith and belief, and you have yours. Do I give you a hard time for wearing a mask? Do I make you feel guilty for falling for this fear factor? No. Well, then don't do the same thing to me. It ain't going to work. The more you harp on me, the less I'm going to do it. But, you know, the bottom line is, like you, I haven't been wearing a mask for a long time. And it's not me daring the virus. It's not me daring God. It's not me daring anything. You know what? 82% of the people, and I saw this stat not long ago. It's been a few weeks now. 82% of the people who got the virus were wearing masks. So what in the hell is the reason wearing a mask? There were some cases where people that were wearing a mask and hadn't cleaned them got such a terrible thing into their lungs. A couple of them died.
Yeah, you get pneumonia, bacterial infection, asthma gets triggered. There's all sorts of reasons not to wear a mask. So
yes, exactly. So, and you know, with the person that said that the other day, somebody said, "Don't you realize that you could die?" I said, right back, I said, "Do you realize that 98% of the people survive?" They didn't know what to say. I said, "I think 98 is bigger than 2." You know, 2% of the. I said, I have nothing to worry about. 98% of the people do just fine. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, here's the way the personal responsibility thing was explained to me a long time ago. It's like you have the freedom of choice and your personal responsibility. You're free to walk around swinging your arms as much as you want, flailing about. But your right to swing your arms around ends where my nose begins.
That's right.
So my whole thing is, if wearing a mask makes you feel better, by all means do it.
That's
but
right.
Don't expect everybody else to do it for you. That's ridiculous.
You're not going to shame me into wearing a mask. I'll tell you that right now. Because you're going to get the big middle finger from me. I can tell you that right now. But you're right. I agree with you. I've been out and about, Miss Marie, and I've only had a couple people say something, and they were very polite about it. So actually 3 times. One at the post office, one at Spectrum. Where was the other one? I can't remember the other one. But there was 3 instances where they asked me to put a mask on. So for the most part, like you, and I see people all the time, Miss Marie, I'm not the only one. There are people everywhere in Louisville not wearing masks. And, we have soccer games. We have basketball games outside. We have softball games. We have that kickball tournament things, volleyball, all outside in the parks. Nobody's wearing masks. And you can't get any rugby. We have rugby teams here. You can't get any closer than that.
No.
When you're playing basketball, you're right on top of somebody. You playing rugby, you're holding arm in arm. You can't get any closer than that other than and being intimate with each other. So if the virus was that much of an issue, Miss Marie, we would have a mass rebound of cases. Just in this park alone, they would be able to trace it to that park alone. Where were you? Where have you been? Well, I'm on a rugby team. They'd be like, but you get my point. I mean, and it's not happening.
Well, and wasn't spring break in Florida supposed to be this huge super spreader event? Haven't heard anything about that.
They were promoting that like it was going to be a death camp.
Yeah. Well, here's my theory, Rob. It's Friday and I'm ready to go get my COVID shots.
I agree. I like that. The shots. All right, Miss Marie, I agree with you. We've had a good enough show. All right, guys. Monday, real quick, our subject matter for Monday is going to be, we'll look at the ticker, advantages of older companies. We talked about older companies a little bit last week, and you know what? It was one of the few times that we actually talked about them. And Marie and I said, hey, we need to really highlight the older companies because they bring a lot to the table. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of the older companies. And we're going to talk mainly, to be honest with you, about the advantages they bring to people, because you don't want to discount them just because we focus, Marie and I, on the newer companies, okay? And we're going to be talking about that in great detail. So you don't want to miss that episode. Please share our podcast next Monday by simply utilizing hashtag the MLM Solution. We'd appreciate it if you do. And as we close, please remember, as always, we tell you guys about all the wonderful things we bring to the table for you, which includes what not to do in network marketing. If you go to the MLM Solutions / WNTD, sorry guys, my sinus is giving me a real issue this morning. The MLMsolution.net / WNTD. That stands for what not to do. If you go there, you're going to see a wonderful offer is going to be made to you for the next 24 hours only. $47, an instant $150 savings. This is normally $197, guys. You get 146 guys and 146 pages along with 146 audio files that take your insight in that subject, each and every one of those paragraphs to a higher level. Plus, that information is going to be complemented by the training videos, and then you add in 9 bonuses of amazing material that gives you a unique, one-of-a-kind insight into the business model and how it works. You're not going to get that combination anywhere else. Once again, it's only available for the next 24 hours. And while you're at a website, when you go there, you can do the podcast replay. Just look at the top of the website, and you're going to see a link there that's going to give you the ability to go and listen to the podcast. That way you don't have to go to our YouTube channel or Facebook page and hunt them down. The past week's episodes are going to be right there, where in one location. Plus, you're going to have a free gift. It changes all the time. Just fill out the form. No shenanigans are going to take place, and you'll be able to get a free gift on top of learning all the wonderful information the podcasts cover, all in one location. What a great deal, right? And finally, you can become a beta tester for our upcoming lead generation system. If you want to become, or have a chance to become, is the way I need to put it. If you want a chance to become a beta tester for our lead generation system, just simply go to ineedleadsnow.net/beta. ineedleadsnow.net/beta. Also, while you're there, register to get your free lead, I Need Leads Now ebook. Very insightful ebook. Gives you an idea of the type of leads you need, why you need those leads, and what they can do for your business. All right, Miss Marie, I need to let you do that stuff for a while. I get tired of doing that.
But you do it so well.
Huh?
But you do it so well.
Well, thank you. A lot of practice. Okay, with that being said, we're gonna hop off here, guys. It's been great. We always enjoy doing these things for you guys. We will see you next Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. All right, with that said, Miss Marie, you have a wonderful weekend. Everybody be safe. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday at 11 a.m.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, themlmsolution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.